Day. It's a sad podcast.
So long.
Fuck that. all right. We'll do the real song first.
Come on.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the only podcast produced by three two-time winners of IMSA's Spirit of the Race Award. This is the Check Engine Podcast, hosted on Anchor.fm, streaming anywhere that streams interesting content that you would like to listen to. My name's Nick. I've got Tristan on my right. I've got Andrew on my left. Guys, happy Sunday. Recording in the shadows of a beautiful fake Christmas tree, getting ready for the holidays.
I feel like the saying it was fake was like a shot. I feel like that was
a beautiful but fake Christmas tree.
Yeah, my tree's fake too. I don't care.
Okay.
No comment.
You just went down and cut down an entire forest for your house.
I clothe my house in forests for the holidays.
What's it? 4 Christmas trees?
4
real Christmas trees.
Wealth.
Insistence on quality. How about that?
Guys, last one of the year.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
What are we going to discuss here on this? It's going to be a year in review, some news updates, maybe a little self-reflection.
Yeah, I think that should get us.
That should get us somewhat to the end.
Get us through. I mean, weirdly, like the most is happening now. There's been more stuff in the past month in terms of car news and like car business focused news than there has been for the rest of the year, when the only thing that happened for most of this year was people just talking about how everything was doomed.
Yeah.
And then Carlos Gozin,
who is also doomed.
Well,
So-
also doomed.
Definitely doomed.
But yeah, here we are with all the shit to talk about and no time to do it no more.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the obvious place to start, hopefully, well, first of all, I mean, welcome to any new listeners. Hopefully...
Yeah, thanks for jumping on.
Yeah, hopefully you guys have kind of gotten through a little bit of our backlog. And I'm thinking we may have an influx of new listeners. I'm hoping that we are, and welcome if you are a new listener, simply because... well, I got blocked by Chris Harris from Top Gear this last week.
we had an exchange with someone really popular, so maybe people are checking us out now.
Incredibly famous, incredibly successful in this exact business, blocked our Twitter account. And I thought, I've not stopped laughing about it since. And obviously that's the first thing we need to talk about.
Yeah, that's clear.
First of all, Chris, should you ever find a reason to hear this?
I think the word you're looking for is deign. Should you ever deign to listen to this?
Yeah. I don't know which guy you are on Top Gear. I don't watch your show anymore. Which one is Chris Harris?
He's the one with...
The short, buzz cut racing driver guy.
Oh, okay. Cool. Anyways,
versus the big redheaded guy, and there's somebody else.
They've got like two... Well, one of them's like now. One of them was a former pro cricket player, is a host.
What?
Yeah.
I thought there was 2 Chris's and the guy from Friends.
No.
Oh, that's changed since then.
Joey is not on the show anymore.
He's now only Joey, no matter what his name actually might be. Because do I know what it is right now? Nope. Matt LeBlanc.
That's it.
There it is.
Wow, that was
Yeah,
that was clutch.
So he's not on it anymore. Rory Reed is not on anymore.
Nope.
Never heard of him.
It's I can't remember their names.
One
but
of them's named Patty.
Yes, he was a
Really?
He's a UK TV show host. He's done some other stuff, and then they have a former professional cricketer, as they call it.
Yes.
Along with Chris Harris.
Sweet. Yeah. So, anyways, Chris, I don't watch your show. I may have to after this. That was pretty funny. Man. So when did that happen? Wednesday?
I think that's when you sent it to us.
Yeah, it was Wednesday.
Yes.
So I was sending it live, basically.
Oh, really?
So on Wednesday, Chris Harris tweeted this out, and I don't follow him because again, I haven't watched the show in a while.
How'd you come across this? Was it retweeted
It was
by somebody?
retweeted by Brendan McAleer, who was way ruder to Chris than I was, but there's a slight conspiracy I have about this now. So anyways, Chris Harris tweeted out this. What is your most embarrassing secret car affliction? Mine, this might cause me some grief, is that I really like the look of 991 Targas. In fact, a Targa PDK 4S 991 might make a lovely daily. Can't believe I just typed that. So I read that and I was like, is this guy
Is it for real?
fucking serious? The hell is he? What are you talking about, Chris? For context, for people who don't know, 991 is the current generation of 911s.
Yes.
The
Yes.
most current, the one that is out right now, and it might be one of the more loved versions of the 911 ever.
Yes.
Yep.
It's got almost universal appeal. Even people like me who have hated the 911 for years since the 996 like the 991 because it's just the same enough and just different. Anyways, that's an aside. So I tweeted at him after reading that, do you know what embarrassing means? Because not only is the 991 super popular, anyways, whatever. His response was, I've studied your logo, and yes, I do now understand what embarrassing means.
Hurtful.
Okay.
But okay.
Well, I read that and I was like, really? Because normally what happens on Twitter when you insult someone by bringing a very mundane observation to their tweets, they'll go, oh, you only have X amount of followers. So at least he didn't go to that. But I responded to his, his little dig at our logo with, is that really the best you have for a podcast as small as ours? Simply because, I mean, it's not like...
I mean, honestly, if I were in his position, I wouldn't have even bothered.
Yeah, that's why it's funny to me
That's
is
why
that
it's funny to me.
he took the time to get insulted by it.
Which is dope. Like, I
Yes.
appreciate that. But anyway, so in response to my question to him, he said, size means nothing, you fuck knuckle.
That's funny.
Size means nothing, you fuck knuckle. Have a pop at me, and I'll have a pop back. Best of luck, and automatic convertible 911s are bloody embarrassing. All right, I mean...
Maybe to him who gets a chance to drive supercars all the time, but I would never be embarrassed being in a Porsche.
It's a tweet of privilege. There is no doubt.
Well, true privilege. And this is how I took it and why I thought it was more funny than... normally, our dear listeners, I'm sure you would know that I would be simply appalled that I had not paid attention to the Twitter account long enough to let Andrew do this. Because I wouldn't want to alienate some huge name
Exactly.
that we want to... the end result of this podcast, if we ended up as big as Top Gear, obviously we'd never believe that, but wouldn't that be a great dream?
we
right?
ended up a quarter of their size in any capacity.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's like, we want to emulate this success. We want to, if not the same content, but let's just alienate this guy. And I don't care because my problem with Chris Harris is he's the same person that we made fun of for the 718 Cayman discussion.
Really?
Yeah, of the I'm gonna go out and get a Porsche. It has to be this. I'm like, well, have you thought about that at all?
I see.
Unless it's a 911 and a manual and naturally aspirated, unless it says turbo on the back, he doesn't want it because that's not a Porsche.
But that's what's so insane to me about this tweet. Like, he revealed more in this final tweet
Yes.
about why he thought his first tweet was an embarrassing secret, right? Because originally, his first tweet came across to me as weirdly cutesy, borderline, desu kind of stuff. It's just super weird for him to be like a T PDK. But in this last tweet, he reveals that Tristan, you're exactly right.
Yeah, and that's what I've always known about him from watching any of his content. So you are not familiar with him.
I'm really not.
But I watched him before he was on Top Gear when he was just doing Chris Harris Drives videos.
I think he was a YouTube celebrity first.
Cool.
He had YouTube car reviews and his own channel. He still does.
That's dope.
Which, great. But
and he's a part-time racing driver. He's co-driver in like 24 hours in Nürburgring and stuff like that.
But how could he do that when all those cars have PDKs?
Well, that's the thing is I loved watching his videos because he knew what he was talking. It's one of those people where like if you can appreciate their knowledge on a subject, you can, at least for a time, get over the fact that your opinions differ, because I'm just looking for the information he's giving me, and then I'm going to draw my own result. I'm never going to get to drive a bunch of these cars,
right?
But he can drive the car, explain to me what it feels like, and I can go like, "Nah, I don't want anything to do with that," or "Oh, I really like that." And even if we're entirely flipped, that's still an interesting information exchange for me. I will trade my time watching his YouTube video for the raw information he gives me about driving those cars. And that was valuable to me, but I've known for a long time that, because I consistently disagree with him, because he's one of those people who are caught up in what is a 911, what isn't. Like,
sure,
he would be the one who, if he could get away with it, would go to Germany and burn down all the factories in which they make the SUVs and the Panamera and the Cayman and the Boxster.
Only 911.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's crazy.
So that's. Yeah, and when that came around, when you sent me that whole thing, I was like, yep. I knew that already. So,
yeah. So, anyways, Chris, Brendan was way meaner to you than I was. He actually said, like, Brendan McAleer said that his admission was like coming out and saying that you like potato chips, which I thought was actually pretty fair. But Chris, man, just so you know, 3/4 of all Porsche, of all 911s sold now are sold with a PDK.
Don't worry, I sent him that entire page.
Yeah, no, that's the better transmission. That's the one they use in the race cars. That's the one it's going to be. Reacting like that is really wild but hilarious, and I love it. I love that energy so much. So if you ever for any reason hear this, reach back out, man. You know the Twitter account.
You know how bad our logo is.
That's right.
I feel like this entire thing could have been avoided if we just changed like 2 or 3 words in your tweet back.
Why? Why would I?
Well, instead of saying, "Do you know what embarrassing means?" and take a pop at his intelligence, we could have said, "Why do you think a 991 Targa PDK is embarrassing?" and then engaged in healthy car debates.
That never happens. It never happens. It never happens. Just as much
Why?
as Twitter.
What do you mean it never happens? You don't do it. That doesn't mean it doesn't happen.
No, I'm telling you it doesn't happen, because what you just typed there doesn't get the response. This gets the response.
Yeah, the thing is, you could say that, but then you'd be ignored.
Yeah, 1,000%.
You know, when you look at the ones that he was retweeting, it was people either viciously making fun of themselves, or along the same lines. I don't know why he got mad at us, because there were a bunch of people that were basically saying the same thing. There was no reasoned discussion. It was like, he said, someone was like, tweeting that's your, secret. I think the person who did that used the phrase secret shame, which I love.
Yeah.
Like telling me your secret shame is one of the best 911s ever. It's like me telling you that mine is like, he's like, my secret shame is I really like, it was like a 458 or something. Like, it's like, it was like, it was some universally applauded car.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, it's really shameful that I like this. And it's just, people were the same way. It's like, and literally one of the tweets actually had almost your wording in it. It actually says, because yours was,
"Do you know what embarrassing means?"
And the one that I saw was like, "That's not what embarrassing means," or something like that. Like, so I don't know why he got all fired up at you in particular. But
maybe we were just the straw that broke the camel's back. Like, he was the last one of 100 that he saw asking the same question.
I'm fine with it.
Yeah, that was really crazy. So, anyways, my conspiracy about this now. So I've been following a lot of the people that I follow on Twitter are like large news agencies, brand accounts, and then independent journalists that I like. And weirdly, all the independent journalists I like hang out together. They know each other, and they tweet back and forth to each other.
Sure.
So what I've noticed just after this happened is that a lot of those individual journalists that I follow will do a lot of like corresponding on Twitter and but it's all people that I think they know and are familiar with in real life. For everybody else, they quote tweet them. So I saw this Chris Harris tweet, not because I follow him, not because I follow any accounts relating to Top Gear, but because I saw it quote tweeted from someone else. When you're in the Twitter replies, you don't see quote tweets.
No, you don't.
You only see direct responses, and you can see likes too, obviously.
Right,
notifications. So I think that that's a thing. I think that I now think in the car journalism world, or whatever we want to call it, if you don't know the person, I guess the dumb thing is to just quote tweet them instead of tweet at them, because
then this happens.
Or maybe Chris Harris is just weirdly sensitive about his Porsche transmissions.
That was the response that I got from a coworker that I told this story. That basically he was like, I imagine by following him that he has to have had his block button replaced several times already because he seems a little sensitive. So,
all right, that's cool.
That was a good midweek pick me up for us.
It was
anyway.
Fabulous. I absolutely loved it. I love everything about it, and I love that energy. I really do. That's why
you can tell he's passionate. If one thing, he is passionate about what he believes.
That's why I just had to put his tweet to us as our Twitter banner, because that was so funny. And also, Fuck Knuckle is amazing.
Yeah, good word choice, Chris.
That whole last tweet is like the ultimate complisalt. You're a fuck knuckle. Come at me, I'll come at you, bruv. And then it's like, size doesn't matter. It's like, oh no, that's encouraging. It's like, what? You're right. It doesn't.
Good luck. Size doesn't matter. Also, fuck you.
Yeah, exactly. I just feel really good about that whole thing.
I loved your Instagram post. Come back, Dad.
Come back, Daddy.
I didn't call him Daddy. Just Dad.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah, that was great.
So what else is going on, guys?
In other travesties,
I have a potential interesting, quote unquote, interesting insight from actually the same coworker. That his take is that on the whole Cybertruck incident. Two things. That the unbreakable glass thing was all, in his words, quote, kabuki theater. He knew it would happen and he would get that much extra free press. Without actually dissuading anybody from buying the truck, because one of the least critical elements was what went wrong.
Interesting.
Okay.
And that everybody was wondering, apparently, at least in his Twitter sphere, why they left the thing just like unpainted. Like, it didn't look like it was done. His thoughts on that one are that it was we're using SpaceX materials potentially
for the body
of the truck.
Oh, okay.
For the people who knew that, like, it wasn't announced, but the scale, if you're producing the truck, the scale would help bring down the cost of those materials for SpaceX.
I mean, I guess that's true.
So those are just interesting things that he was talking about. Mainly to me, because I told him I went full Mandela effect on that whole presentation.
Did you?
Because I watched it, not live, but I watched the recording of it.
Okay.
And I was like, man, he actually looked really appalled that glass had broken. If you go back and watch it, he's sitting there smirking.
Okay.
And it's like, so for me,
it's all part of his master plan.
it was like, at the moment, I was like, oh God, ha ha ha, look at that. And I got suckered in just like everybody else.
That is very interesting. I actually really like that first theory.
And not so much the second one, but the first one.
Yeah, and that was not as high of importance, just like, what if this is the case more than anything else?
I mean, what if it's the case?
Yeah.
Nothing.
No.
Then nothing, because, I mean, at some point, this run of success, this press run for Tesla will end. I don't know when, and I don't know how, but I think Elon has proven to himself and to everyone that it no longer matters what he does, as instance in the Cybertruck thing, or what he says, which was proven by him getting off on the pedo guy. Wait.
Oh.
You've been waiting a while to say that, haven't you?
No, I haven't. I didn't. Being what was actually
Acquitted?
Acquitted. Thank you.
Getting
of
off
the
on
of the
his face.
pedo guy charges or the insult, whatever it was, defamation charges.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, so here's what we know. A couple things. First, it doesn't matter what he does or says. No matter, it's just going to generate positive press because of the power of his the zealotry of his fans. The second thing is, now we know, we have a court ruling. If anyone in the whole world wants to call Elon Musk a pedo guy, if anyone were to say about Elon Musk that he is a pedo guy, if anyone were to say that,
Anyone. Even like a small podcast.
not even that, if there was anyone in the world who would call Elon Musk a pedo guy, it doesn't matter, because it's not defamation to say that. You could theoretically say that Elon Musk is a pedo guy. You could say that theoretically, not that anyone would say that.
Wasn't it just the fact that he brought the wrong lawsuit, though?
It could have been. I didn't read the result.
I thought,
didn't read the result.
libel is much easier to prove.
Probably.
He just brought defamation instead.
Yeah.
Because defamation requires actual,
damage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Versus, libel, which is just you did something bad to my name.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
It's just crazy. I worry about the knock-on effects of that ruling, simply because, I mean, on the one hand, it almost seems like internet freedom, right? Elon Musk just went out and tweeted some idiot shit. Mm-hmm. He does this all the time.
Say, what else is new?
And everyone else on the planet does this all the time. The only thing on Twitter is idiocy.
Yeah. I say what Elon is doing is not unique.
Not remotely. And saying crazy stuff about other people in the news is even more prevalent than just straight up idiocy.
Yep.
So for free speech in the biggest possible quotes, I guess it's a win. It's just, it made me wonder, as he was, there's the pictures of him, I guess, walking out of the courthouse, whatever it was. Whatever happened to that whole SEC barring him from tweeting or talking about Tesla thing? Is that not real? Did that never happen?
Mandela effect.
The amount of things that he just does is crazy.
Yeah.
Totally crazy.
Totally crazy. That was obviously a big ongoing story through 2019 is the escapades of old Uncle Elon and his company. Where are we on Gosen at this point? Because that's something we've been following since we started this season.
We're still holding.
February.
I mean, this is the thing
he got to talk to his wife.
He got to talk to his wife. That was the last biggest update.
And Nissan has just put all of their employees on furlough.
And they got rid of Hirota Saikawa, who kind of started this whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I think there's 2 days after the new year that they're not allowed to come to work or something like that.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, because they can't afford to pay them. Through the midst of plummeting sales. But don't worry, they got that new GTR that nobody likes for $1.1 million.
The one designed by Ital Design?
Yeah.
Wait, was it Ital Design or Pininfarina?
Ital Design.
It was Ital Design.
Ital Design. Yeah, that thing was gross. What do you think, Nick?
No, I didn't like it at all.
I thought it was ugly.
That was really bad.
So, I mean, that case, just because of the size of it, is kind of on hold. But have you guys noticed how screwed FCA is?
On a scale, they're very, very...
On a scale of 1 to Blender, they're really screwed.
Yeah, they're falling into the blender. I don't know if the blades have hit them yet, but they're pretty close.
I keep finding news stories. I got so interested by the Automotive News report on, the expanded report they did on the lawsuit that GM is bringing.
With the UAW tampering?
Yes.
Yeah.
Simply because it kind of defies belief. First, that this kind of thing, although I guess one side of it is you kind of want this kind of corruption, right? The allegation is that FCA bribed and otherwise tampered with union officials at the UAW to get better rates for the UAW work, which in turn allowed them to gain a competitive advantage over GM specifically,
Yep.
but every other U.S.-based automaker. Meanwhile, Ford... So
Hackett's just in his own little bubble.
no, here's what
Who
Hackett
cares?
said. Here is what Hackett said. It is a new beginning at Ford. There is a new era at Ford. Have you guys heard about this?
Have you seen this? Have you heard about this?
Starting soon, there will be a new era at Ford. So that's what's going on over there. But anyways, the depth of the GM versus FCA lawsuit is kind of going off of charges that have already been filed in court cases that have already been won. So the convicted UAW officials who are now convicted of corruption are also being charged in a RICO case. A civil level RICO case.
Son of a bitch.
I was interested in how this applied. So I literally dug into the actual RICO law to find what's in there. And I really fell down the rabbit hole on this one.
Yeah.
So what they're looking for, the standard of proof here, is at least 2 acts of racketeering activity, of which there are 35 crimes, 27 federal and 8 state, within a 10-year period. So that's why this case was brought now. That's why it's so relevant just at the finish of these corruption charges. And so RICO is gang-related offenses, so racketeering, gambling, murder, kidnapping,
it's
blah,
all
blah, blah.
the stuff you'd normally arrest a 1920s gangster for.
Yes.
Like MASH, eh?
But as a result of all of that, there's also I think it's called the 1962 series of laws. All of those same crimes, including racketeering, including money laundering, including price fixing, if you are a part of a union, you're automatically brought in under the RICO law. So they built these laws for this exact case.
Yep.
And it's going to be so messy.
Yep.
The
prosecution is armed with a lot of bullets in their gun right now.
Actual convictions for similar. Basically, I mean, the corruption was the head of the UAW, the same people who are going to be theoretically on trial for these same crimes, only 2 over 10 years. They've already been convicted of those crimes. It's not double jeopardy because this is RICO refers to the organization, not the individual.
Yep.
That's the big difference, is you're talking about an organization, not a person.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the FCA being screwed. How come we haven't brought up is the UAW going to be screwed?
It's so hard to say.
I mean, because they're just as guilty as anybody else.
True.
Well, and allegedly.
And if that's, I don't know if it...
I mean, there were 2 parties in this. It wasn't just FCA. The UAW was as big a part of this as well. And everyone's like, oh, FCA screwed, and no one's mentioning anything. Is it just assumed because the UAW is a powerful union? It's yeah, they do this stuff.
I really don't know, because obviously the penalties would then go to the organization as well. Fines or things of that nature would have to be paid by the UAW. But I think, in a sense...
But the way I'm thinking about it is, if I, for whatever reason, am a decision maker, a representative at the UAW that's trying to collectively bargain, I would find myself in a lot more difficult position. Why would, if on the flip side, so I'm coming in to bargain with you, Tristan. You are running Tristan's Motorworks out of Pewaukee, Wisconsin, and you need a labor force. So I'm coming in, why would you even take the time knowing that the UAW has been involved in all this shit, and you're going to there's a potential that you and your company might get dragged through some of this stuff. Is anyone thinking oh, the UAW might lose all their leverage here?
But how? Because... Well, I mean, I guess it kind of comes at a convenient time for the UAW. They just re-upped with GM. Yep. They just re-upped with Ford.
I haven't heard anything about...
They did re-up with Ford. Ford snuck theirs in with almost the exact same contract as GM.
Okay.
So right after GM signed, they basically sent the exact same contract over to their workers.
Yeah, sure, that one.
Also part of the UAW.
There's Hackett.
And they signed...
New era. Here, sign this.
Yeah. And FCA also just closed theirs at a significantly higher rate than they had been paying.
Right.
One thing I saw from Automotive News today said that with one contract, FCA essentially wiped out all of the competitive gains they allegedly or the actual labor prices that they did benefit from over their past contract. That's how much this new contract cost them, because the UAW rejected everything. They said, no, you're screwing us, because there's literally evidence of the fact that they did. FCA screwed the UAW. But what you got to think of, Nick, is that fundamentally the UAW is a little bit too big to fail right now.
Yep.
So, I mean, what is the other option? Go non-union like Tesla and get absolutely destroyed when no one shows up to apply for your jobs?
Yeah. I wasn't presenting an answer. I was presenting a question. Like,
yeah, and that's
I think
my counter question.
Right. I don't know. There is no other option for a manufacturer that large.
Yeah, there really isn't.
You need a labor force that large.
Did you hear about the other angle that FCA is about to get it from? The Italian government.
Really?
Yeah. I want to get the number right on this, but because this one was newer. The Italian government is alleging that Fiat undervalued Chrysler by $5.6 billion when they bought them. $5.6 billion.
Damn.
So that would be, I mean, theoretically, tax fraud.
Tax fraud. Yep.
$5.6 billion. All of this while FCA is negotiating with PSA to merge.
Yep.
If I was PSA, I'd withdraw my offer and be like, $20? I got a slice of pizza? Like, what do you want?
I was going to say, I got double bubble in my pocket.
I got Old Big Red. It is crunchy.
$20 in Old Big Red.
$20 in Old Big Red. It's a lot of Old Big Red. And as worthless as that might be for all the Big Red in your pocket, you know, what's that face over there?
Nothing.
There, you know, you were saying, what do? You go non-union like Tesla.
Yeah.
Maybe not non-union like Tesla. Maybe you choose to go non-union like, you know, Volkswagen, Mercedes, BMW, Toyota, Honda.
In America?
Yes.
I thought for
And
sure
Nissan.
Toyota was union.
I don't think so.
Damn.
Probably right. I mean, maybe that is what happens. Maybe this manages to kill the UAW. Theoretically, I don't know what.
Certainly not until the contract expires, but maybe
True.
then.
Well, I don't know what fines would look like coming off of a case of this size. For
I mean, is there
UAW and for FCA? I mean,
do we have any precedent to look at, like typically in a situation like this, or is this completely new?
I don't know if there's ever been a case this big involving this much money coming from one of the few remaining super powerful manufacturing lobbies in the U.S. Has this case had an equal?
That's what I'm asking. I don't.
Certainly not recently.
I don't know.
Union Railroad, perhaps?
So, yeah, there could be, you know, potentially historically.
But by then, you know, if something like that did happen way back, we still can't use that fine or that penalty as a precedent because, you know, inflation and stuff.
Fine them $3,000.
Oh no, it's gonna cripple them.
I'm just trying to figure out if there's any sort of amount in any of these documents. Massive monetary damage. I've seen that. Massive as the word, but I don't see I've never seen a dollar amount.
No.
So theoretically, I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Crazy.
I don't know what could happen. Oh, I also meant to look up if Toyota is union or not, just because I'm curious.
The article that I had read about just unions in general did lump them in all together with the non-unions. Like they said, the big German 3 and the big
Japanese 3
are not.
Here we go from. When was this article written? They did have a union plant. They only had one union plant.
Yes.
And, oh, God, that was 10 years ago.
Right.
Well, shit. Yeah, so I'm sure you're right. They're probably on non-union. Then maybe that's it. Maybe it's as simple as getting rid of all of that. Who knows?
Who
We'll
knows?
see.
There's so much we can't figure out yet. Like a lot of this is like, hey, this is going on and we have no answers. We're just going to kind of sit here and wait like everybody else, like you, the listener.
I'm just wondering how realistically, this is going to sound so dumb, but realistically, how much money does FCA have to pay these fines? Because they're going to get something from the Italian government, and that could go up the ladder. That could go to the EU, who are so thirsty to get tax money, because that's what the whole thing runs on. They want tax money. If they think you're evading taxes, they will nail you to the fucking wall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess it depends on how much the fines turn out to be. I mean, it's not going to be a lump sum thing. They're going to be paying it off over, my guess is like over years and years. It's not going to be it's like in debt to it.
Or what? I mean, what if there's some, just in my crazy idiot brain, I'm now thinking of what kind of happened to Toys R Us not that long ago. They got bought out by basically a liquidation company who settled them with debt, closed the company, and then reopened the name brand as basically like an Amazon storefront. I mean, what if PSA waits this out, buys FCA, and then just rebadges their cars and, keeps the profitable blueprints, basically just Jeep.
Yep.
And then just rebrands all their other stuff.
All their two things.
Yeah, all their other.
They would keep Jeep and Ram.
I kind of got stuck there. I was like, what else do they have?
They would keep Jeep and Ram.
Yeah.
They would rebrand Chrysler.
And just, badge engineer whatever they got.
Whatever they got for Dodge.
Yeah.
Or make it online like a Carvana.
Hey, I wonder if that would weirdly work. And I mean, that seems like it could almost happen, because more and more and more stuff is coming at FCA. You need to pay this, you need to pay this, you need to pay this, while they're trying to merge. It almost feels like what happened to Mitsubishi.
Yeah.
Where they basically became a ghost.
Mm-hmm.
Because
just like a shell of itself.
They got fined out of existence. Mm-hmm. And then bought, and that was kind of the end of that.
Mm-hmm. Man, I don't know. 2020 is going to be weird.
It's going to get wild.
It's going to be super weird. Someone's going to snatch up Nissan. I firmly believe someone's going to buy Nissan.
Penske?
I don't know if he has enough rubies to lift that sinking ship.
You need emeralds across the ocean.
Yeah.
But your rubies are no good over here.
Yeah. But I will say, so Nissan basically has one vehicle, right, in the Rogue that weirdly sells.
Is good. No, I thought not anymore. The Ultima and Maxima were both in the top 5 in the U.S.
Oh, that's a good point. That's true. The people do buy those.
No, Ultima and Sentra. I'm sorry.
Was it the smaller one or the bigger one? I think it was the Maxima. I think it was the Ultima Maxima.
2 of their 3 sedans were in the top 5 in the category. So they moved those.
I mean, maybe they still have a really high valuation. Maybe they make money overseas or in other countries, but it almost feels like Nissan's on the verge of being vulnerable enough to be bought or to try to merge with some other company into some mega conglomerate.
Just bought pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Continuing our march forward to the Wayland-Yutani Corporation.
No, in fairness, we will have a Wayland and a Yutani Corporation.
That's what I
mean. There will be 2 manufacturers. It's so bizarre. This is also weird.
Yeah, there's so many moving parts to this.
I'm obsessed with it because in terms of scope, between the Gosen case and now this FCA case,
how much of the market does that actually affect?
I really have no idea.
Like, what's the share of FCA and Nissan and PSA and, like, you just wonder, like, combined, how much of the market is this actually affecting?
Well, I mean, we know, because we've now seen how it works out.
Yes.
The Gosen issue has affected the entirety of Nissan. Their primary losses have been in America, but as we learn from it, one of their primary markets was America. The losses they've had here have had devastating impacts for the whole company.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Totally.
I imagine FCA would be largely similar, simply because Jeep has buoyed that entire company.
Yeah.
For the past however many years.
Way too long.
Yeah, way too long.
So, I mean, to the exclusion of everything else. I mean, they literally are cutting everything else down just to make more Jeeps.
Yep. It's Jeep and Ram.
Yeah, so there's...
And then a couple of those old hot rodders still buy Chargers, so...
That's very true. And then in Europe, they make a handful of Alphas and Fiats, but I would think probably just in terms of how many people actually buy Jeeps, they probably sell less of the smaller cars, and that could also be devastating for the whole brand, especially if they then get additional fines, additional penalties, and maybe even restrictions from Italy and the EU. Just major brands are kind of like winking out of existence in front of our eyes, or not, or it could all be for naught, basically. You know what I mean? This could just be like a big panic. It just seems so weird.
Seems like people are getting pretty skittish about it, though.
I would.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, you hear about certain, like, you know, whether it was like the Volkswagen Dieselgate, like there's been big issues with major manufacturers before, and people are like, oh man, that sucks, and there's articles written about it. But a lot of this stuff now, for whatever reason, maybe it's just because of the electric vehicle and ride sharing and all these other threats to what you would consider like general or basic motoring, like people seem to be way more spooked about this stuff now than they were, you know, like 4 or 5, when was Dieselgate, like 4 or 5 years ago now?
Yeah, something like that.
I think it was knock-on impact, though, because I never expected that Dieselgate, as sure as it was, to how much did they end up getting fined for that?
I don't even know. So much.
Such an unbelievable amount of money. But I never assumed that it was going to endanger the VW group.
The existence of the company.
Because of the size. And in a similar way, Nissan's... What's the opposite of an explosion? Not an implosion. I mean, that is the exact opposite.
Technically, that is, yeah.
What is the word for exploding downwards?
Implosion, really.
Yeah.
When you think of like demolishing a building.
Raising a building, which sounds...
That's true.
Opposite.
Yeah.
We're going to raise this building by knocking it down.
Demolition.
Yeah, demolition.
The demolition of Nissan.
That is tangential to the Renault-Nissan alliance because of how Renault dictated the terms, how strictly they dictated the terms to Nissan. So they're basically apart from Nissan literally falling apart so quickly they can't have people work for them anymore.
Yeah.
Starting next year, they just don't come into work. Sorry.
We can't pay you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's like a 2-day furlough. Mm-hmm. Like right after the new year. Extended Christmas break.
Yeah. But when you look at FCA, that just is the company. They do, as we talked about a couple episodes, they do business in parts of the world as various companies, but they, I mean, I guess I don't really know if they like divided it up in a similar way to like the Renault-Nissan alliance, where, you know, FCA in Europe is different than here, but from what I can tell, they made one company.
Yeah.
At some point, that's all going to one place. There isn't a divide.
No, that's how it's set up. I looked that up when we were talking about it a couple episodes ago. It's all one company.
Yeah. So that if they get enough shit coming at them at the same time, it's going to have to damage the brand. As untouchable as Jeep has been, something bad has to happen if you're getting billions or even hundreds of millions of dollars of fines.
All the time.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're constantly getting fined.
Plus the actual legal fees, plus
to try to defend yourself. Yeah. It's... I wonder if those lawyers don't make you pay unless they win.
No. That there's a lot of reading in those cases. You're getting billable hours like you wouldn't believe. Oh man, would I love to see that bill. Whew, for this case. You better hope you got that guy on retainer.
Damn. So what else happened this year? What other big shit? You want to talk about what we were right about?
You know, I said I was going to take meticulous notes on things we were right about. Did I do that?
Nope.
No. I did not do that. Do you remember anything that you were right about this year, Nick?
I was right. Well, motorsports-wise, the Indy 500.
Right.
Called that.
Good point.
I'm not going to take credit for Formula One because everybody in the world called that.
Yeah. I mean, you can count it, though.
But yeah, I mean, it's 1.5.
Sure.
So I think I was right about there. We collectively, you, Andrew, were right about the whole Ford thing.
True.
That didn't work.
Hasn't worked.
Has not worked. Just
yeah, that's
like
right. There's now math for it.
Yeah, there's math. There's proof that it does not work.
Because you and I were of the opinion, like, even if some people are buying them, if you cut yourself out entirely, you lose some revenue.
Yeah, and that's
they
what
have.
Happened.
Yeah.
So, what else were we trying to think? What else?
I'm going to give myself credit for just being right about the C8. Even though it's a little preemptive, I'm just going to say that car will be as fast as NSX around almost any given track. I mean, it's just trending that way. It's going to be that way.
Yeah. I'll give you that.
What else? Next year, I swear I will honestly take notes about this. Was right about the continuing impact of the Nissan Juke. Just everything is a Juke now.
Every small SUV.
Everyone.
Yep.
And Nissan's still an idiot for getting rid of that. GTR still lingering around. Not to bag on Nissan even more than we have. Tristan?
Anything else? What else were we right about?
Early on, when we heard about the forthcoming potential demise of the R8 as a line for Audi, I said that they're going to make this last one just absolutely gangbusters, and by all accounts, they have. The new R8, like, performance plus whatever, like all the stuff they thrown on the end is apparently just an absolute barn burner. Like there's no car this comparatively inexpensive has any right to be this fast, this fun. So that's no, it's not a C8, but it's as far as bargain goes. But when you're looking in that next tier, dang, this last version is going to be really, really good. So, I predicted a hell of a swan song for that car, and it looks like it's going to get it. So
that's good.
Awesome. Good. It's a shame that it even has to be a swan song.
Yep.
But
I mean,
it had a good run, right?
It's to come back with something different. Like it's not like their exit of performance marketing or whatever.
It's going to be something. It's going to be something else. I think they're going to probably build a Taycan fighder. Probably would be my guess. Or
of course,
technically, cousin.
Wait. The e-tron.
Yeah, they have the e-tron.
Not that?
E-tron's more crossover-ish.
Oh,
it's very high. Okay. Yeah,
shows you what I know.
All right, so we'll chalk that one up too. We're right about Hyundai doing things they actually say they're going to do.
Very true. Following through. Making things N-line. Oh, actually, on that topic, did you guys hear about the specs on the new Sonata N-line?
No. I heard about it.
290 horsepower in the Sonata N-line. Yeah. And with a new-ish, it's not a new engine, but a newish turbocharged 2.5, which will then be the engine that goes into the base G70, which was another issue that they said that they were looking at, because originally that came with the same engine that's in the base Veloster and the 250 horsepower.
Yeah, yep.
So the baseline G70 will probably go up to the 290 horsepower, or they might detune it a little bit and put it at like 270, just so it doesn't directly compete with the Sonata. I mean, I guess, you know what? Screw it. They could. One's like a luxury, one's not family sedan.
Yeah, one's a family sedan sport edition, and one's a full-on luxury sports.
So they may keep those. Either way, I think that's really cool, and it will probably be a small price increase for the G70. But even still, if you are then looking at a base model G70 in the low 30 range, 32 or 33,000, 290 horsepower, like 35,000 for one with all-wheel drive, I mean,
that's bargain.
That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's good. That's real good. So very impressed with Hyundai, and we were right about that.
And that's also something that we can kind of, transition a little into something we're excited about. Not that we have to be done with, what we were right with, but I would also chalk.
I really can't think of anything else. So yeah, let's transition.
I would also chalk up the, potential of the Sonata N and the new G70 is something that we could look forward to soon.
For sure.
Which I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. I just hope they don't design the new G70 like they did the G90.
I have bad news.
Did they?
They did.
Son of a bitch.
It's too late.
There is a redesign on the G70.
Son of a bitch.
That is their new, whatever it was. The 80 was the first one, right?
Yeah, 80 is the first. No, the 90 was the first one they redesigned.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
They haven't touched the 80 yet.
That is their new design language.
Son of a bitch.
I hate it. I hate it so
now we're going to
much.
have to, when we have to talk about this in like our car want list, we're going to have to say first gen G70s,
Oh,
G80.
yeah, we are.
You
Ugh.
know, sound like a bunch of old guys. Back to that first generation.
That first one was the best
That
one.
first one was the best one.
They made it ugly.
So bad.
They made it look like a Lincoln, and that's so stupid. Don't chase Lincoln. All right, nobody chase Ford anymore. Stop it. Okay? Stop it. Nobody chase Ford. They're doing the wrong things all the time.
PSA. From Andrew Tully.
Just a general notice to everybody out there.
Stop doing what Ford does.
I am excited for some of the more real world release of and see how it goes for the new. Well, I'm excited and a little bit worried for the new Defender.
Why?
Yeah.
Because I mean, have you seen it? It's a little bit different.
I have not.
No.
So they came out with a new, like, entirely new redesigned everything Defender.
Sure.
And their claims are
For 2020 or 2021?
2020, I think. But it's gone. It looks more like the kind of more plasticky SUVs that we see kind of everywhere.
Sure.
But their claim is they've kept the capability, the durability, etc., all the illities.
Lots of illity in that Land Rover.
Yeah.
Why would they do
Yes.
that though? Because Land Rover's been introducing
It's got angry
Land Rovers
headlights.
for poor people. Like, they've been making cars for the less of the 1%
For
for
the
a while now.
1.5%?
Yeah, for the smaller millionaires, the single digit millionaires
There you
for
go.
quite some time now.
Yes.
So why do this?
I think it's a separate thing.
No, okay.
It's because I think, especially Range Rover, especially that division, has been hitting those lower marks. But Land Rover is still like, it's like you had like the LR series,
Yeah.
and like the Disco for a while, and then the Defender, which was sold in only a handful of places because it didn't meet requirements for anybody, and all that kind of stuff. I think they redesigned the Defender to be more marketable internationally, I think is the big thing. So I'm curious about it. I liked it. Some of the first drives that I've seen compliment it.
Sure.
But I'm curious if it can uphold the storied legend of the Land Rover Defender. So we'll see, or if it's just another fine SUV from Land Rover Range Rover. So we'll see.
Sorry.
I'm trying to think of what I'm excited about for next year.
Well, they took away his entire reason ever to be excited when they released the C8. So.
Yeah.
Are you excited for literally ongoing content pieces about whether or not GM should make a series of cars based on the Corvette name? That won't die.
No, that won't.
That will never die now. So thanks a lot, you assholes
Yeah.
who were asking that question. No, they're not doing a line of cars based on the Corvette. They never
Ever.
will. I hope they never do.
I
Ever.
don't know. We thought Ford wasn't gonna.
I never had that thought. I never thought about it. And when they announced, well, you know what? There was never an opportunity for that. And remember, we talked about that a couple episodes ago when people were saying, oh my God, they named it the Mustang. I was like,
Yep.
they only said that. So yes.
Yes.
They followed through. They pulled a Hyundai and they followed through.
They actually followed through. All right, I was kind of drifting in and out of that Defender conversation just because I went on automotive news and I saw two articles about Jim Hackett. One talking about how his quote was decontenting lowers vehicle price, and the other, that was from December 2nd.
What?
On December 4th, there was an article about how he's going to fight rising sticker prices. This guy. I don't like him. He's so annoying to me.
The whole point.
Exactly.
The whole point
Exactly.
of what they did by cutting cars was to
Raise the
raise sticker price.
Yes.
That was the per transaction price was supposed to go up.
Inarguably. and he wants to lower the prices of those vehicles.
You know what you could do to lower prices of the vehicles you sell?
What
You
could you
could
do?
make cars.
Wow.
Andrew.
What about
Jim.
that? James.
Little Jimmy Hackett.
So that's going to be something I'm not looking forward to in 2020.
You know what, guys? 2020 is going to be a new era for Ford.
I have heard that.
Just like
It's a new
every other
beginning.
year.
How long can this go on? Seriously.
Until
Are
Hackett
we
gets
running
fired.
out of lives in the upper right-hand corner yet?
I thought we were. I think what I said was he'll be gone by the end of the year.
So that was one thing we weren't
wrong about.
one
I'm
thing we
pretty
weren't
sure I
right
said
about.
that.
Yeah, that's one thing we weren't right about. But we still have a couple of weeks.
True. That's a very valid
We have
point.
until New Year's Eve.
Very valid point.
So I'm excited to see how far Ford falls next year, I guess. That's one thing I'm excited about.
Nick, bringing up the old holiday spirit with the Schadenfreude.
Actually, more on Ford.
We're on Schadenfreude.
Yeah. They announced the Mustang Mach-E, blah, 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 whatever. Mustang. Ford has already
face it.
started telling their dealerships to not advertise or sell the Mach-E below MSRP. I think there are two conceivable readings of that order. The first one is they dearly need that transactional money more than we thought, which is kind of backed up by numbers.
Yeah.
And the second part is, okay, I'll make this prediction then. The Mustang Mach-E will be a victim of incredible false scarcity for 6 months after its release. They will produce small numbers of that car for no less than 6 months.
Yep.
On purpose.
On purpose.
Yes.
And then they will suddenly
Flood the market.
Yep.
They're going to do a Raptor.
Yes, they are going to do a Raptor. Absolutely. And it's not unique to Ford. Every manufacturer does that with cars
100%,
that are.
Yeah, totally.
I mean,
Part of it's functional, I'm sure, tooling plants, getting the line order correct, making sure you can fine tune your build process enough.
Yep.
But
the
to scale.
Hellcat was an example of that for me that jumps out. Whenever we talk about false scarcity,
1000%.
the Raptor and the Hellcat just are like, boom. Those
Yes.
are the ones to me.
Yep.
Especially because I remember reading Jalopnik posts about the overcharging for Hellcats.
Yes.
And then driving past the Dodge dealer here and being like, oh, that's 3.
Yeah.
That's 3 of them. Okay, so all right, they're just gouging. So there will be, not only will there be false scarcity on the Mustang Mach-E, there will be unbelievable amounts of price gouging for the first month. It's my second prediction.
That's a safe bet.
Nick, I have one question. What do you think about this?
Uh-oh.
Are we going to see from the Mach-E a Bullet Edition?
Oh my God! I'm really mad now.
That bullet green Mach-E? Yeah. That's going to happen.
I never thought about that.
SEMA 2020.
No,
Bullet
that's
Mach-E.
gonna be
No.
something that Ford just does.
Yeah, they're just bringing that out.
Yep.
They're just bringing that out.
Hey, speaking of that, I a little bit off topic. There was an article. The Hollywood Walk of Fame awarded a star to the first to its first vehicle.
Oh, God.
Was it the Bullet Mustang?
It was not.
Hey!
Which is why I wanted to bring this up.
Herbie the Love Bug.
No. keep going.
Kit.
Nope.
What other cars? Transformers?
No.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
You guys.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That's deep, but no. You guys are gonna be really mad at this.
Probably. I'm already mad at the whole concept.
It wasn't the Bullet Mustang, so how mad could I really be?
Pretty mad.
Yeah, you're always mad. What the hell?
Let's face it, pretty bad.
The Chevy Suburban.
What?
Okay, so
They just gave.
not as mad, but mostly just confused.
Why? Don't shrug. Why?
I don't know.
Is this real?
This is real.
Keep talking about it.
Every movie with a president in it.
Every movie with the president in it. I'm thinking maybe they're the main vehicles used for rigging cameras up for like motion scenes.
Those are pickup trucks. I've seen it.
I don't know.
Yeah.
But they awarded the Chevy Suburban with a star on the Walk of Fame.
oh shit, okay, there actually is a reason. And you know what? It's not that bad.
So I was not mad. I was confused. So hopefully this will clear it up for me.
Here we go. The Suburban has been in at least one film every year since 1960.
Oh, wow.
Including 30 nominated for an Oscar, and at least one TV show annually since 56.
Damn. Okay. Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of screen time.
That deserves to be there.
Lifetime Achievement Award.
That deserves a star more than like 60% of the people on that walk. Yes. How do you feel now?
I'm up there, right next to the Suburban.
That's actually really good.
So there you go. Chevy Suburban on the Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Okay, I'll buy it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Congratulations. How are they going to do Are they going to do like tire tracks in the concrete?
Dude, yes.
Instead of like they can't do handprints, right?
They put it out on those the rolling dollies.
Yeah.
And you roll it in, and then you just.
I hope that's what they do. That would be cool.
Yeah.
Or they're probably just going to like emboss the Chevy emblem.
It's hand and footprint, so you have to get both sets of tires.
That's right.
Oh, yeah.
They have to sign it, too. That would be the Chevy logo. Or just a Suburban nameplate. Just look into the concrete.
Oh, that'd be so awesome. There are a bunch of cool ways they could do this. They're not going to do it any of those cool
No,
ways.
they're not going to do it cool.
But still.
If you need some consulting help.
Let us know. We have many ideas. We just gave them to you for free. But hit us
Wait a minute. We went about that backwards, didn't we?
A little bit. Actually, here's a weird car that I'm excited for next year, and I don't think there are any implications to this collab, but it would be cool if there would be. Chevy and Carhartt are doing a special edition of the Silverado for 2021.
It better be upholstered in duck.
I know, right? I don't know if it is, but what I do know is that there's a very simple change in the outside. So the example they showed is blue, but there's a neon green pinstripe that runs all the way around the truck just above the grill. It's the only Chevy Silverado that has actually looked good to me for 6 years now. It looks so cool. Yes, it better have duck on the inside. Absolutely 100%.
The Carhartt edition.
I would love to see more like 90s style, quote unquote, fashion design crossovers.
Eddie Bauer edition.
Bring back the Eddie Bauer edition. Carhartt edition, everything.
The LL Bean edition Subarus.
LL Bean edition. I feel like
Tommy Hilfiger edition something.
Yeah, let's do that.
Exist, right?
Huh?
That was real.
What did they do a Hilfiger edition?
I wouldn't be too surprised.
I thought something was that, but
Why? It actually is a really good question. Why has nobody stepped up? Why are none of the Italian fashion houses going to Lamborghini being like, hey, let's do a crossover edition of the what's the SUV called? I just forgot.
Urus.
Of the Urus. The Gucci edition Urus.
The Gucci Urus.
You could sell that for like twice the MSRP and every rapper would still buy one.
The Gucci Rus.
Yes. Or Rolls.
as early as recently as 2017.
Ooh.
The MG ZS.
Oh, for fuck's... That doesn't count.
The what?
MG ZS. Tommy Hilfiger edition.
Oh.
Whatever. Is this SUV?
It's a Jazz ZS. Yes, I believe it is.
It's probably a small SUV.
Yeah.
Imported from China and with a badge slapped on it. Well, because that's who...
It's full of Tommy Hilfiger stripes, which is great. That was not from the 90s like I had thought it would be.
Yeah, I was trying to think of like 90s brands. Fubu.
Oh! That would be so great.
What car would be
Echo?
Echo!
Would be a Fubu edition.
It'd be some Chevy product.
I thought maybe a Nissan, like an Armada.
Oh, that would actually be kind of tight. I was thinking like a Fubu edition Cruise or Cobalt. Impala? They still make the Impala, maybe?
Not anymore.
Malibu? I don't know what they
They
make.
do make the Malibu.
They do
Whichever
make
one they make.
The Malibu.
the Malifubu.
Come on. That's gold.
That's almost as bad as the advertisement I saw for something that was Christmas related, and they said, "Come and get your faux photograph taken."
Uh-oh.
I was like, "Oh no, nope."
Malifubu.
Here's something I'm not looking forward to next year.
Okay, not looking forward to.
Well, let's do the next year I want to die already.
Yeah, right?
The I Want to Die edition.
This actually does make me want to die a little bit. Because it's Formula One, obviously. I just have to read some of these stats to you guys from the previous, from last season here, from coming off of Lewis Hamilton's latest championship.
Yeah.
So laps raced 1,207. Laps raced in P1, 456 or 38%. Laps raced in P3 or higher, 1048, 87%. Laps raced outside top 5 for the season. Can anybody guess the number of laps he raced outside the outside the top 5?
24, because you just said 24.
I said the shit. God damn it. 2%.
Yep.
Only 2% of the whole season, Lewis Hamilton was not in the top 5. Why bother? Why even bother?
Just give it to him right now and save everybody the money.
But it is,
They were trying to do cost caps, right?
Yeah, exactly.
God.
Don't run a season. Just make Lewis Hamilton a really nice trophy, and there you go.
Yeah.
I want to be interested. I want to see something.
You got to wait till 2021 when they shake everything up. Next year's going to be more of the same.
It definitely is 1,000%.
It's going to be more of the same.
I mean, even the
Ferrari's
teams
going to Ferrari's going to try to get close, and then Vettel and Leclerc are going to hit each other 3 times in a row.
Yeah, what happened there?
Yeah,
Why were they doing that?
They hit each other on the straightaway. One was passing the other, and they just bounced off of one another. It's just like,
But they did it in a practice session as well. I think one clipped the other. It wasn't on the same race weekend. I think.
Oh, it was another time? Yeah, I mean, it's happened more than once this year.
What the hell? Stop that.
Yeah, just don't do that.
Stop racing your teammate, you guys. Do they hate
Vettel's
each
losing
other?
it. Vettel's losing it a little bit, I think.
Is that what's going on?
I think he's falling out of his prime, and Leclerc is really good. So Vettel's pressing, and he's making mistakes.
Oh, I see. How old is Vettel now? He can't be more than...
He's like 34, 35.
Oh, okay.
He first broke, his first race was like 07 or 08, but he was like 18.
Yeah.
Or something like that. He started super young.
That's a bummer.
Yeah. I mean, he's still really fucking good, but he's not what he was even 2 years ago.
How many championships does he have?
4.
I thought it was 4.
Yep. So, yeah, it's going to be Hamilton. Yeah. Nothing really else to say.
There isn't.
No, it's going to be Hamilton.
There's nothing to look forward to. There's no happiness. There's no joy. There's no excitement.
Happy holidays, everybody.
Are you not bummed by this?
I am, but I'm not going to sit and discuss it at length on the holiday episode.
Fine.
Scrooge.
Well, okay, then what should we talk about, Tiny Tim?
It's more right than you know.
I know.
I have a limp and a cough.
Episode title.
Then give us a happy topic.
A limp and a cough.
A happy topic?
Yeah.
Soon the snow will arrive.
That's not happy.
Shut up. Yes, it is.
It is happy. It's December. We need snow on the ground here.
We never need snow on the ground.
Are you kidding me?
Did you buy a 2-wheel drive truck?
No.
There you go.
Then we need snow on the ground.
You have to have it.
So otherwise you wasted your money.
I just hate snow. Has nothing to do with the vehicle I bought.
You live in the wrong state, buddy.
I know. I am a desert rat trapped in the Midwest.
But genuinely, can you say... all right, so I'll just speak for myself. I'll put it this way. The reason why all of our holiday decorations went up so early is because the snow fell and we just couldn't resist, right? Can you honestly say that Christmas feels the same without snow on the ground?
Yeah.
Do you have Christmas spirit do you have Christmas spirit first?
Sure.
Okay.
Confirmed.
I had to verify.
Confirmed. Girlfriend confirmed.
And that doesn't drop off when it's a green Christmas.
No.
Ah, that's bullshit.
He has to deal with freaking brown Christmas.
It sounds nasty, bro.
It does.
Dusty Christmas.
Hey, baby.
My name's Dusty Christmas.
I don't understand that at all. Like, it doesn't fit in my brain, being happy and not having snow on the ground for Christmas. It ruins it for me, totally.
Two mutually exclusive things.
No, Tristan?
No, I'm with you.
You're in Camp
I'm
Snow?
ready to wait to have Christmas until mid-January.
Yes, I am. That was my campaign last year. Push this shit back. Enough with the global warming.
Global warming is happening, therefore Christmas cannot occur until mid-January.
Yep, exactly. There must be snow on the ground for 2 weeks before Christmas can occur. Because you need to feel the agony. You need to feel the hopelessness. You need to wake up early and it's dark and you want to die. And then like, oh, Christmas is coming.
Well, you can still do that whether or not snow's on the ground.
That's dark, Nick. That's dark.
You can still kill yourself without snow.
Again, I don't see why any of this why snow has to be in the picture. And why are we talking about this? This is the car podcast.
Tristan didn't bring up a car thing.
I did. Snow is inherently a car thing.
Oh my God.
For me.
We can't do the weather report podcast. We just can't do it.
We're not good enough at the car podcast to spin off and do a weather one yet.
Let's see.
You want to do a podcast year in review, a little self-reflection and
Yeah,
look
let's do
ahead?
that.
Let's do that. We had a pretty good year. We had
a great year.
So last year was almost a full year. We started in March. This year was full, like January to December.
Yes.
Yep.
We went all the way through. I did not think we would have enough episode ideas, but we made it through somehow. A lot of it was, we had some great interviews.
Yeah, killed it.
We had the wonderful Artisan Loaf twice. Mm-hmm. Second one was by his request,
Which was great.
which was awesome.
Yeah, we're definitely gonna have him
Sir,
back.
if you are listening,
Thank you so much.
When are you going to ask us to come back again?
Nice. I feel like he'd be a great person to tell us more about these wheelings and dealings in the biggest businesses in the world. Just because
I want to. Yes, let's get him on and
teach us.
And have him teach us about the FCA dealings and what his take on the Gosen situation is and all these.
He would know more about the EU side of things as well.
Oh,
or at
totally.
least the European side.
Totally. So, we had Artisan Loaf on twice. We had the busiest hat-wearing dude in motorsports, Steve Welk, on, which was a great conversation. Thank you, Steve. We had...
That intro, though, makes him sound like his defining characteristics is that he wears a hat. He's the busiest hat-wearing man in motorsports. He's the busiest man who wears many hats.
Many hats.
It's really funny.
I was like, was he wearing a hat when we interviewed him?
No, he didn't wear a hat.
Yeah, that's why it's immediately the question in my head. And I was like, I don't think he was wearing a hat. I took it really literally.
You should have said that.
Sorry.
That would have been amazing.
Many hat-wearing business professional Steve Welk was on, and that was cool.
That was a great interview.
That was an awesome interview. We somehow, some way got into an actual real-life racing hauler
That was nuts.
and spent a half hour with the real IMSA team and got our sticker on the car.
They were so amazing.
That was so accommodating.
We've had many excellent interactions with one Mr. Jeff Mosing.
Oh, God.
And
What a guy.
just repeatedly out there saying hi, being amazing.
Yep.
Just doing his thing. And then we had our very first top 10 episode
That was crazy.
for what else but interviewing our dads for Father's Day.
That was amazing.
That's still, I mean,
Debuting an episode in the top 10, though.
that was nuts.
Crazy.
That was, take that, Chris Harris.
Yeah, we got blocked by Chris Harris on Twitter. That was an accomplishment.
This is a big thing.
That was a big thing. Way to wrap up the year.
We have become ever increasingly involved with Mr. Tudorevich.
Yeah, we met Bozy. We met him at VIR as he
Watkins Glen.
Yeah, Watkins Glen. But he's always at VIR, is why I said
He
that.
is, yep.
But at Watkins, while he mechanicked his car to being the only one who didn't literally crash out of the race.
Yes.
On the day.
Well, the thing is, it did, and still won.
Well, yeah,
that's the best
true.
part.
It did blow out.
Yeah.
Only once, though.
Only once instead of two or three times.
The corner of the car that he was responsible for.
Exactly.
Like literally the corner, the left front corner.
That's so nuts to me.
Yeah. Crews make a difference, man.
And just that day being, a blood sport for that car and that tire and that wheel. Like, every car having the same problem is so weird.
Yeah, because you would think, like, you could see it happening to team cars because maybe they share data for setups, but
That's how it started.
These were multiple different teams All having
in
the
Civic.
same, yeah, all Civics having the exact same issue. Like 3 different teams, 6 total cars.
It's nuts.
It almost smacks of the Mid-Ohio Lamborghini incident.
That was I mean, that was just hilarious because didn't they yank their cars at a certain
Yeah,
point?
they just parked them.
Lamborghini debacle. Yeah.
Yeah, just had wheels that kept falling off.
All over the racetrack.
I'm like, fuck this.
Just went home.
We've had enough. And I think we went down later. They were the first trailer gone.
Yeah, they were. So, man, what else happened to us this year?
We experienced SRO, and unfortunately the weather was horrible, but that is going to be bomb next year. That is going to be a sweet weekend.
Yeah,
I can't wait.
That's gonna be
Speaking
fun.
about meeting,
Oh, we need to choose where we're going for our traveling race next year.
we do. But speaking of meeting Posey, we made our triumphant and successful return to Watkins Glen.
Much better trip this
like
time.
heroes.
That was a great trip, actually.
Much better than the first time we went.
They really tried. They smashed it. Honestly, that was a good race weekend.
Yep.
I mean, the 6-hour race was kind of a snooze fest.
It got there. Yeah.
It got a little processional, but the weekend as a whole, the Pilot Challenge race, which was just off the chain again.
And the facilities were just that much better than they were last time. So that
Andrew, you became an accredited race photographer.
Yes, he did.
Wore the bib and everything and was leaning out over the fence.
I'm still
With
absolutely
roaring
crushed about
V8s and
those rain
turbocharged
pictures.
flat 6s screaming by you.
That was amazing. I'm
Yeah.
doing that again this next year. I'm so mad about those rain pictures. I fucked them all up. I'm so mad at myself.
Well, I mean, I don't want to hope for rain while we're there, but you might get another opportunity.
Here's what you need to do. You need to go apply for credentials for every race weekend.
I thought
just
about
go
it.
up there and practice.
I've thought about it. I should have applied for SRO. I'm doing that next year because there was
Nobody there.
not one person.
It was also Packer Sunday in the rain.
True. All true.
So, but don't worry, it won't be that much more crowded.
I don't think so. But everyone should go to that because it's incredible.
For real, like get yourself to an SRO race. If you just look at their calendar and if they're close, go to one. So, yeah, we got to figure out where we're going next year.
We notably upgraded our audio equipment. Thank you,
Definitely.
people, for sending us money. Always helpful.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's direct from the Patreon page and the support button on anchor.fm. So many thanks for that.
Sound mixer. We have sound effects now. We have real microphones.
Actual microphones.
Actual microphones this time. While that got upgraded, I feel like our blogging cadence was significantly downgraded.
Yep. We're going to figure out what we're going to do with that. I think there are some ways where we can change the website up and kind of mix our content up so we can get more regular updates to things that are outside the scope of the regular podcast. But also, I mean, just because when we were regularly blogging, I mean, we got tons of traffic from that. And I need to be better about doing the social media posting as well.
So, I mean, it still is part-time for all of us. We have other life things happening and full-time day jobs and all that other stuff. So, I mean, it is kind of when we get to it, we'll do it.
No excuses, though. People want to hear from us.
Definitely true.
We want to hear from people.
And speaking of which, that's what I was going to say.
Still waiting for the question episode.
So speaking of which, we want to hear from people. Be it send us your questions for the listener questions episode, or tell us what you want to see on the website. If you're not going, why not? What do you want to see on there?
Yeah, it's a good point. It's a good point. We did have some really good interactions with some fans this year.
Definitely.
Both
A ton of them.
both coasts.
Yeah.
We went from the Atlantic to the Pacific with our interaction with people, and that was fantastic because it's like, wait, this person, like, none of the three of us know who this is.
Yeah.
Like, it's not like somebody's cousin or whatever. Like, shit, there are other people besides people we know actually listening to this shit.
It's kind of scary.
It's kind of scary, but it's really cool at the same time.
What else? We more than doubled our follower count and all of that other good stuff on all
Totally.
platforms.
How many unique listens are we up to right now?
I haven't pulled the data in a while,
We're
Tristan.
very near, if not over 9,000.
It's over 9,000.
I was waiting for it.
Oldest meme in history.
But no, we are, and we've had listeners from all sorts of countries, which is the other interesting thing. I was going through some of the people that we have listening to us, and yeah, almost 9,500.
Very cool.
Nice.
So that's interesting. And we've got people from the United States, Sweden, Netherlands, Brazil.
Ooh.
Like, there's all sorts of interesting places where we're being heard. The question is, are those just VPN destinations?
We charted in Mongolia.
We did
for a while. Yeah.
That's so awesome.
New Zealand, we do. If we're charting in Mongolia, then the Mongolia listens are real. Turkey, Cambodia,
Nice.
Belarus, French Polynesia, and Serbia.
Hey, my people.
We're on the map.
Those are definitely my cousins.
Yeah, get the word out, man.
No Italians, though, Andrew. Get your work done.
They're busy.
How many Irishmen do we have, Tristan?
We've got 1%. Actually, one of the actually named percentages are United Kingdom in general.
Oh.
Nice. That's all loaf.
And Ireland is less than 1%, but it is on the list.
Sweet. Oh my gosh. This is ooh. It's frightening. Honestly, it's really weird. Simply
Frightening,
because,
but exciting.
yeah. I mean, you never. Yes, you understand when you make a podcast and you put it out there.
Anybody with an internet can get to it.
Theoretically, to have numerical evidence of that happening is what's the crazier part. It's sort of the same thing with my master's thesis, which is published in the International Library. I get a reader's report every month, and people read it every month or download it or access it every month.
No shit.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's crazy.
Yeah, so that's very interesting. So, and exciting, and we look forward to more.
Yeah, I'm excited for 2020. Like, we've got to sit down and not record, but just sit down and talk about where we want to go next year at some point, and then I think make it the biggest year yet.
Definitely. There are some things that I want to do in the break. There are some things I want to try and maybe put out as content during that break, just to kind of see what the reaction is, simply because we have like the YouTube channel, but the three of us need to figure out how we can best
utilize
make that its own thing, simply because YouTube, the reason why we mostly do the podcast, even though we've tried video and all these other things, is because YouTube is so demanding that when you have a platform like Anchor or any other podcast distribution networks that makes it so easy as a creator just to make your content and put it out there and receive anything in return, listens, publicity, even money when it comes down to Anchor, exposure when they put us on 15 different platforms. YouTube punishes you for doing everything that isn't these exact 5 things every single week. If you don't put something on there every week, you get punished. You miss a week, you get punished. If you do a video over a certain time, you get punished. Under a certain time, you get punished.
With enough or not enough moving parts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so asinine.
It's hard to figure out.
But that's a place I want to be. That's a space I want our content to be in. And it's just we need to figure out a way to make that happen, because...
And that would be another question I have for our listenership as well. Are you on a platform that you want to see stuff from us, be it social media, video? Do you want us to send you letters? Whatever.
Yeah.
Is it YouTube? Is it Twitch? Is it?
Do you want us to live stream these recording sessions as hilariously bad as that would be?
Yeah.
Twitch, Vimeo, whatever, Visco.
Whatever's the new one. Mixer? Isn't Visco Cam something just to make you look pretty?
No, it's a social network.
Is it?
It's like Instagram without all the likes and hoo-ha.
Oh. Shows you what I know.
Yeah, Mixer's Microsoft's streaming platform.
Is that Microsoft?
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. So, all sorts of stuff. Do you want us to pitch an original series to Amazon?
Dude with Racers just got one on Amazon. It is.
There you go.
I just watched one of their. It was really good. It was obviously homemade. It's still just the two of them with very little crew. Mm-hmm. But they did a documentary on motorsports in Jamaica.
Huh.
They went down to Jamaica for like 9 or 10 days, and it was really, really good.
Cool.
So we'd love to reach out to you where you are.
And we have pitched an original series before.
That was so long before. We didn't have anything when we did that.
Yeah, we didn't have there wasn't even an idea for a podcast.
Now we can't even say we have a podcast with 46 fans.
Yeah, right.
That's our Anchor estimated number. If there are more than 46 of you, I apologize.
No. The Anchor estimated audience is based off first week listens.
There you go. So
all you people who listen the first week, we love that we are a priority enough to make it in the first week.
So,
yeah, but we'd be happy to bring you stuff where you are. We'll come to you.
yeah, we'll figure it out. Just let us know what you want.
Yeah.
That's our Christmas gift to you.
Please reach out and tell us where we can get you better so that we can increase our reach, bring more content.
Yeah.
Clothe the children.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's got to be it, right?
Is we ready to wrap up?
Unless we want to talk about our personal years, that's all.
I'm not doing that.
No one cares.
Yeah, no one cares about that.
I've been to Florida a bunch and I got engaged. Done.
There you go.
He wins.
As important as that is,
he wins.
It's only 2 things total, even though one's a really big one. Very simple year otherwise.
True. Went viral off the engagement.
Yeah, the engagement went viral.
We did. Many Star Wars and Disney fan pages. Someone else took pictures of us, and those went viral.
So
their
funny.
stuff went viral, not ours.
That is really funny.
Because I would have never tried that anyway. So.
Oh well. Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's one thing you want to have us do next year for the podcast, Nick?
One thing.
What's a goal you have?
Call them New Year's resolutions or something new like that. Yeah.
New Year's. That's a tough one. I really like I think that internet radio thing is something to try to pursue. Like, can we get there by next year? I don't know how much work it's going to take, but try to at least map out what it would look like.
Yeah, is there a way that we can get content out more quickly is basically what that comes down to.
Right.
Get it to people more quickly.
Yeah, besides just a once a week or once every 10-day cadence or whatever the average came out to be this year.
Tristan?
That's what mine was going to boil down to. As other things in my life will pick up, but as my other guaranteed set time requirements drop after February, I'd love to see if we can increase productions, maybe 2 episodes a week or an episode and content on other platform. If you guys let us know where you want us to be, I'd like to get out there more because I like doing this stuff.
Totally agree.
And I think that people like listening to it, at least sometimes. So
yeah,
I think maybe if we can produce quality, now that we're used to this, though, that's the problem. Now that we're used to the quality coming out of the board, as long as we can get something similar through like Discord, so we don't have to be in the same physical building,
certainly,
then we can probably get more content out, even if they're just shorter.
Right.
But I think, let's see mine. I really want to get Bozy on the podcast, but my problem with that
that smacks of real journalism.
No, not at all.
I'm kidding.
My problem with that is I don't know enough to craft a pointed interview that would keep him entertained, so he wouldn't think that I'm a complete idiot, simply because I don't know shit about cars. So
Bozy intimidates you
massively.
Yeah,
simply because he goes on these. He's on a rip right now of tweets where, I don't know whether it's visual identification or straight up research. Just the guy's mind for the mechanical is unparalleled. Even amongst people, in people who write about cars, a lot of them know about cars. There's a different level where it's literally like some sort of visual memory. It almost seems like if he sees a part, he then catalogs that part and will tell you.
Show it to him later. He's like, oh yeah, that's from a 1997 Chevy 2500 Express van.
Also
like,
that wasn't in production until this date.
Yeah.
Shares this casing is also for, and you're like, oh my fucking God. I'm terrified. How can I create an interview?
You ask him to bring all that stuff. How did he learn it? What's his experience?
No, but I don't know how a car works.
We can make a quiz show for him. We can quiz him.
I got you covered. All right.
That would actually be fun, but we would Oh, shit.
It wouldn't be a competition. We would just like have quiz questions for him.
Wait, don't give this away. Don't give this away. We'll talk about this later. That's the end of the podcast.
Goodbye, everybody.
Don't be giving out the content.
It's all hypothetical.
If we were to do this,
That's right.
This is
Allegedly.
how we might do it.
Allegedly. That's good enough.
Okay, cool. All right, folks. Thanks for sticking with us, not just for this episode, but for the entire season, the second, the entire of 2019. We really, really appreciate it. We just talked about what a massive leap in viewership and engagement that we've had over year one. And we cannot be more grateful to you for that. We don't want you just to listen, though. We want you to engage with us.
Please.
You've got all off season to send in questions for a listener question episode. Anchor.fm/Check Engine Podcast is where we're streaming from. CheckEnginePodcast.com is the website. We have an email there, inbox@CheckEnginePodcast.com. We're on all of this, well, the three major socials at least. We're on Facebook at Check Engine Podcast. Andrew, the Twitter is
At Check Engine Pod. Find me getting banned by all the hosts of Top Gear. It's hashtag 2020 goals.
as long as it's not the host of a Grand Tour. Let's stay on their good side.
That's right.
Okay, Tristan, we're on Insta at
Check Engine Pod.
Awesome. If you're really into what we're doing, like we mentioned, we've got some new gear here that makes us sound way better than we actually are, and that's through the support pages where you can go like patreon.com/Check Engine Podcast or anchor.fm/Check Engine Podcast and hit the support button if you'd like to kick in a little bit to help this tiny little podcast grow. We appreciate that. If you do not want to do that, we get it. You don't have to support us financially, but you could maybe find it in your hearts this holiday season to throw us a good review or click that subscribe button. So when we come out with that new stuff in 2020, you're going to be the first to know. And it doesn't cost anything.
I mean, that's the thing. Santa Claus would subscribe, so you should too.
So you should too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Rudolph would subscribe. All those claymation monsters would subscribe.
And if they would, it only makes sense that you would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Come on.
So, I don't know if we need to do a round of thank yous. It's pretty obvious who we're thanking. It's
Everyone who listened, everyone who added a digit to any of our digits.
to any of the statistics.
All of which we've more than doubled. Not we. You, the listeners, have more than doubled every single metric that we have.
Yep.
More than doubled. In most cases, it's gone up by 3 or 4 times what we had before.
Yep. Also thank families, significant others for putting up with this passion project.
Friends and coworkers for endlessly listening to our podcast.
Yep, for showing their support. We appreciate all of you. We wish you the safest and best holiday season imaginable with the people who matter most to you.
And snowiest.
We do.
Speak for yourself.
Andrew and I wish you
Speak for
yourself. Christmas.
Two of the three of us wish that. Have a good holiday season. Happy New Year. We will see you in 2020. Until then, take care.